One time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Mono. Living super clean. Daddy came up.
One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I gotta rain. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. BS help me, shout let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Good day, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching us and wherever you are watching us from. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I know you guys are usually used to seeing me go live, but we're switching it up a little bit now. So, hey. Just in case you're new here, please allow me to introduce myself. I go by Miss Mono's World in these content creator streets, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the places the content creators be. Follow, like, share, subscribe, all of the good things that the good internet citizens do. If you have not liked, shared, or subscribed to our YouTube, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. Make sure you like, make sure you share, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on your notifications so you know when we upload. So, like, just a few things to talk about before we get to our main topic. Let me share my screen so you guys can see this lovely post that my husband made. When did he make this post? February, what? I can't see the date on it. But, oh, and now you guys can't see to read it. Hold on. Let me change the... Here we go. Okay. Maybe. So, okay, there we go. So you guys can see it now. But the post said, it's February 15th, day after Valentine's Day, right? We know Valentine's Day just passed. So day after Valentine's Day, he said, somewhere in social media land, there are women who are envious of the Valentine's gift another woman has posted. Not knowing that lady bought that stuff herself just to post a picture and make you think someone's sending her gifts. Don't believe everything you see on these here apps. And I felt like that's something we should discuss because, hold on, y'all, my bad. Okay. I felt like that was something we should discuss because it happens a lot in social media land, right? That's one of the curses of social media land, the ability to fake a whole life. And then the tendency for some people to watch another person's life on the internet and feel like this is a lifestyle that they have to try to emulate or something that they have to try to do. So here's the thing about that. And especially in the age of AI, honestly, if AI has not taught us that anybody can make anything seem like what they want it to, I don't know what's going to have to happen for us to get that lesson. My mom has a saying, you can make your mouth say what you want it to, right? And now these days, you can make your Facebook page, you can make your Instagram, your TikTok, you can make your social media present a life that is nothing like the life that you live, right? And we know this. But sometimes that thief of joy, which is comparison is a thief of joy. That thief of joy comes and it tries to convince you that everyone else Everyone else's pictures are a glimpse into a life that is just so much better than yours, when the fact of the matter is that's just a picture. You could pose for those exact same pictures if you felt like taking enough time to set it up. I mean, you really could. You could rent a fake little seat on an airplane. There's studios that you can go to, and you can rent the time to stand on the sets and take the pictures. You can make it look like you're in an airplane. You can make it look like you're in jail. You can make it look like you're in a beach. You can make it look like you're in like a private lounge. You can produce the images to portray whatever message you want to portray. Okay. But we shouldn't be doing that. We should not be trying to lie to people. Let me just say that. We're saying that we're living righteously even online. We're going to present ourselves right as we are. We're not going to try to fake in front and make people think that we're living a life that we don't. Okay. If we're living in righteousness. Okay. But also, as the consumers, as the viewers of the content, it is up to us to use our discernment and use our wisdom. A lot of times the answer is just put the phone down. Just put the phone down. Like if scrolling and comparing is getting overwhelming for you, it's just too much, and you just find yourself like mentally and emotionally beating yourself down, put the phone down and walk away. Go for a walk, go fish, go grow some vegetables, go do something else besides looking at the phone, right? And then the other thing is just change who you're looking at. Like, you control your algorithm. I don't know if you guys realize this, but you control your algorithm. So stop going to the luxury girlies, the aesthetic girlies, the ones who are trying to present this lifestyle. And I've had to do that. I had to stop following a follow a content creator, and I enjoyed her content a lot, but her content, and I'm not blaming her what I am, because that's the point of the content. She's a home cleaning influencer. Okay. So every time she does a video, she's using every single gadget she has. And in every single video, there are more and more gadgets. So me sitting at home watching this, it's like, oh my goodness, I need that. I need that. I need that. I need that. And before you know it, you have a bunch of stuff that you don't really need at all. And then you're wondering where all your money went. Right. So let's not fall into these traps of social media. Let's not fall into the social media traps. Let's not fall into the influencer traps. Okay? You were just fine living your life the way you were living it before you saw that ad. All right? Before you clicked on that TikTok video and saw that little orange cart down there at the bottom, before you saw that little shop now, you were just fine in your life the way you were. Okay. Now listen, I'm not against a little treat every now and then. I believe very much in little treating myself whenever I want to. But I had to start being more intentional with how I was spending my money, and also more intentional about what I'm consuming online. I got to stop looking at stuff that make me feel bad about myself. I got to stop looking at stuff that makes me feel like I need more to be content. Right? So let's evaluate that. Let's take a look at what we're consuming online. Pay attention to how it makes you feel. Okay? And if it makes you feel grimy, then just get off it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to subject yourself to that. So if it doesn't make you feel good, don't watch it. So I don't know how many of you all are familiar with my Bible study group called Sisters That Pray. I don't know if y'all have seen the flyers on Facebook or Instagram or even on TikTok. But so we meet weekly every Sunday, and then we meet on Wednesdays for prayer. And then we do just have like sipping chats where we really just talk and fellowship, just conversate amongst each other. So if you're interested in joining that, let me know. Here's the flyer. So if you see this flyer, that is what it's about. You can leave a comment under the flyer. You can send me a DM or whatever the case may be, and I will be glad to add you to the circle. We are always welcoming new sisters. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is bringing you guys another version of what we're talking about that week in our Bible study. So we are a few weeks behind. Okay, so I have a few weeks to catch up, which is great. Because I'm actually writing the study. Okay, all praise to the Most High. I'm creating the study because I couldn't find what I wanted and have it tailored to our group. Okay, so the content is fresh, the study is fresh. We conversate about these every week. I ask the ladies for their feedback. We comb through it. I go back and make changes. I edit. So this is a process. I would love to have you part of this process with me, with us, with Sisters That Pray. So if you're interested in joining, let me know. Okay. All right. So one of the lessons that we did a few weeks ago, which I feel like would be appropriate here, was called Pause, Heal, Proceed. Okay. Um, I think this is going to be multiple parts because it's different when you're talking like I am now. So today I wanted to focus on the pause portion, right? And I decided to focus on this part because I know one of the things that trips me up when it comes to goal setting, when it comes to being consistent, when it comes to not procrastinating, is the fact that I tend to look too far ahead. I will be looking toward the end of the thing instead of focusing on the next step of the thing. Okay. And so, as I was driving down from Ohio one time with my husband, I was reminded of this because if you've ever ridden down I-71 at night through those mountains, through like Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, the pitch blackness of it all, the sections with no street lights, you literally cannot see your hand in front of your face. It gets so dark. And so when you're driving in the day, you can look up, you look around and, sightsee while you're driving, right? But driving at night in such a dark place, when you do look around, it is very scary because it is so freaking pitch black. And even looking ahead, right? Even looking ahead is scary because it gives the vibes of when the Road Runner would paint the mountain black and Wile E. Coyote would be running toward it and hit it. And I know that might sound silly, okay? But I'm just using that as an example to show how it made me feel. The darkness made me feel scared, like I didn't know what was ahead, even though in my mind I know there's nothing there in the dark that's not there in the light, right? The same scenery that I had enjoyed on the ride up was still there on the ride down, but the fact of the matter is it's dark now and I can't see anything at all, okay? And so this was like overwhelming to me. And so what I would do is I would make sure to just look down. I would look down to where my car headlights were illuminating. Because here's the other thing about it, right? We have the automatic headlights these days, and the automatic high beams. But with the automatic high beams, if the smallest sliver of light is coming from anywhere, the high beam shuts off, and it does not care about how dark it is on your side of the highway, right? So now you're struggling. But so I found that when I did look down in my light, it was less overwhelming. It was a easier ride. It was an easier drive. And it really stuck with me as a reminder to just take one day at a time, one step at a time. A lot of times we look at people who we may aspire to and we see their end picture. You see the 20 years later picture. You see the 25 years later picture. You see the picture after the healing, the therapy, the processing, the prayer, the fasting, the concert. Like you see a result of decisions that that person has made over time. And you want those same results for yourself right now, not realizing that, again, this is the result of decisions made over time. this person sacrificed for years, decades. They put in the work to get to the point where you are looking at them and you are aspiring to be like them. And so, especially when we're in situations where we're struggling financially, we're not happy with our jobs. It's something we have to get up and do every day. And it's just like draining the life out of us because I hate this job. I hate these people. I get it. I've been there. And in those times, it can be very frustrating to hear someone tell you, oh, just take it one day at a time. Because if I be real with you, baby, I don't know if I'm going to make it to tomorrow. The kids is driving me crazy. So is this man. The boss is getting on my nerves. If my coworkers say one more wrong thing to me, I'm going to snap. So I don't know if I have another one day at a time in me. You may honestly not know if you have another day left in you, and that's valid. I totally get that. I understand that. You are at your wit's end, okay? And it can be hard. We talked about this another week as well. I think like the week before this, we had talked about how it makes you feel when people are telling you to be patient, when people are telling you that you have to wait. You know, they always tell you he may not show up when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. And you're thinking like, well, right on time would be today. I I totally get that. However, every story has to have challenges. Every hero has to take a journey. Y'all know I love video games, okay? And one of the main reasons that people like RPGs or role player games is because you go on this journey and then there are achievements that you make on this journey. There are steps, there are stages, there are enemies to defeat, and then you go on little side quests where you get rewards. And I saw a post the other day that was like, you know, your life is boring because you don't take enough side quests. And it's true. It's true. We do not take enough side quests. Sometimes we get so caught up in trying to make it day to day that we forget to take up a hobby, or we forget to do something that has nothing to do with making money, nothing to do with the grind, nothing to do with the hustle, building an empire, trying to wherever you want to call it in our society of capitalism and over consumerism. We forget to just do something for the fun of it. We forget to just let fun be the reward. You know, cooking can't be a hobby now. You trying to make content. You're trying to join a creator fund and you're trying to go live and you're trying to do this. And I get it. Yes, the struggle for money is real. However, if making money right now today is your goal, then change that to your goal. Change that to your goal. Like, okay, my goal is to just make a couple of dollars today. Change that to your goal and everything else will be less frustrating. But the fact of the matter is, your goal is to build a life that's sustainable, successful, one that you can be proud of, one that you can live in righteousness, one where you can be an example. You want a full life. You don't just want a couple of dollars today. And so you have to get through each day to build you to that life. And while you're going through these days, you take a little side quest. You see somebody crocheting and you decide, oh, you know what? This is something I might like to do. Go try to crochet. Go pick some apples. Go make some candles. Go hiking. Find other things that you enjoy that make you happy just for the sake of being happy. This is a practical thing to help you get through the days. Now, I'm not in any way neglecting the importance of prayer and fasting and reading your word. Absolutely not. Okay. You can't do anything else without that. That is the absolute foundation of anything that you're trying to do. But one thing that I do like to focus on is I like to focus on also practical application of biblical wisdom. And the Bible does tell us to take pleasure in the fruits of our labor. It talks about having pleasure in what we toil. In Ecclesiastes 2 in particular, David talks about, you know, I took pleasure in my work. Take pleasure in your work. Um, and again, like, I know the struggle is real. I know the struggle is real. I was a single mom. me and my 3 girls, and I was getting up every day, going to work, and then I would go to school, and I would come home and barely have enough time to be with them before I had to put them to bed and get up tomorrow and do the same thing all over again, right? And just because I was in school doesn't mean it made it any easier. Because someone who's not able to go to school would be like, "Oh, man, if I could just be in school, that would make me feel better." That would but that's now that's work on top of work, right? So, yeah, I was working, I was going to school, and we were doing okay. All praises to the Most High, like, we were doing okay, but it was still a struggle every day because this is not the life that I wanted to be living. This is not the goal that I had in mind. When I was a little kid, I never said to myself, "Ooh, I wanna be a single mom with 3 kids, working full time and going to school full time." I never said that to myself. Okay, so this is not ideal, right? Um, but if I would have given up back then when it wasn't the picture that I wanted, I wouldn't have made it to the place that the Most High has me now. And even though I'm at this place now that I dreamed of 15, 20 years ago, there are goals now that I'm trying to reach for the next 15, 20 years, Lord willing. And even now, it gets frustrating every day because it's like, Lord, I feel like I've been doing this show for years. I've been doing this, I've been doing that. What is going on? And this is when even I have to pause and just refocus and remember what is your ultimate goal here? And let that dictate your behavior. For example, my goal is to spread this content, to spread this ministry, to spread what the Most High has put in me. So now I'm looking for different ways to do that. And if I can record and put out videos 2 and 3 times a week instead of just going live and putting out 1 video a week, then better for that, right? One of my goals is for my sons to have all A's and B's at the end of this semester. So what am I doing? I'm putting in that extra time. We're sitting down, we're doing the work, we're reviewing, we're going over things over and over again. I'm building every day toward my goal. But if you keep letting the distractions of life change your goal, then you'll never build toward what you really want. And what do I mean by the distraction of life change your goal? I I was taking my prerequisites for nursing school, right? And I ran into my husband. We started dating. He wanted to get married. And we got married. I was at that age of I was like 34, 30 when 2014. I was 34, about to be 35, right? And no, I was actually 33, about to be 34. I turned 34 that year. And I'm at that age where as a woman, I have to decide if I'm gonna have any more children, then I need to do it now. I didn't have time to wait. So it was either continue to go to nursing school, which yes, I could have. And I know what you're saying. Well, you know, mothers have babies and go to school every day, B. Okay, I get it. But I didn't want to do that because I had done that the first time I had my babies. And then 6 weeks later, I'm dropping them off at daycare and I'm back on the grind. And I did not want to do that this time. Okay. So I sat down, me and my husband, we discussed it. I told him, listen, yeah, I want to have sons because I only had daughters at the time. I want to have some sons, but I want to stay home with them. I don't want to just have a baby and be dropping it off at daycare. And so this is what we did. And so this meant that nursing school, I'm shifting my goals. The circumstances of life caused me to shift my goals. But here's T, okay? Here's T, because my goal was always to be a stay-at-home mom. That's always what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and raise animals and live on a farm in a big open field. Like I always wanted to do that, right? But the circumstances of not having a husband, needing to provide for myself, had me on a career path. Okay. It just so happens that my fallback plan was my original goal anyway. So all praise to the Most High, that worked out, right? But sometimes we let circumstances of life, i.e., men, financial struggles, emotional issues, misunderstandings, we let our own frustration cause us to change our goal. And so because I'm getting frustrated right now, I'm going to start looking for other ways to make money. Let me go ahead and turn this camera on and hop on OnlyFans. Let me go ahead and make these twerk videos. Let me do this. Let me do that. Because the circumstances of my life right now are forcing me to change my goals. My goal is to live righteous. My goal is to be a woman of God. My goal is to be a lady. I want to be an example. I want to be uplifting and empowering for young ladies who are also seeking to live righteously. This is my goal. But these circumstances of my late rent and these bills is due, and I ain't got no help, is causing me to indulge in behavior that's causing me to change my goal, because now I decided that my circumstances are causing me to focus on the goal of making money instead of the goal of being righteous. And this is where a lot of us wind up taking 50 steps back, because you'll be on the right path. Circumstances of life come upon you and you meet this man and he is just, oh, so drop dead gorgeous, and I don't know what I'm going to do without him. And now all of a sudden nothing matters. And now, instead of my goal being to be a upwardly mobile, socially successful person, now my goal is to be with this person who is not living the life that I wanted. And so the circumstance of that and me just needing to be in love at whatever cost caused me to make some bad decisions. And here I am. It will cause you to do it. And see, here's the thing. And this is why when I talk to my kids, I talk to them all the time about the split-second decisions, about the people you hang around, about the things that you normally don't think about. But this is why we have the boundaries of the law. And that's something we're going to talk about in another week. But this is why we have the boundaries of the law. This is why the Most High gave us his law, to keep us. One of the reasons is to keep us from doing things that will come back later that we would regret. Things that will have us coming back later like, I shouldn't have did that. Why did I do that? This is why when you operate within the confines of the law, when you stay on that narrow, straight path to righteousness, this is how you prevent those things. This is how you stay focused on your goals, because the Bible tells us not to worry about tomorrow, because you cannot add or take away from it. Now, I'm not saying not to work. Okay, let's be clear about that. Faith without works is dead. That's a natural thing. You gotta work. So I'm not saying not to. But what I'm saying is there's a right way and a wrong way to do every single thing. There's a right way and a wrong way to do every single thing. There's a right way and a wrong way to make income. There's a right way and a wrong way to make your ends meet. Absolutely. Sometimes our lack of faith causes us to make bad decisions. I get all that. But when you keep making a series of bad decisions, now you're just further and further pulling yourself away from what you said your goal originally was. And even if we just start at the simplest of goals, which would be the goal for all of us to live in righteousness, we get so distracted from that goal so fast because we got lonely, we got tempted. This person said this, I was triggered by that, so it made me, I ain't seen him in a while, I ain't seen her in a while. And so I backslid. So I did this. So I did that. So the main reason for this message was so that we would all just pause, stop the wheels in your mind, right? Because the wheels in your brain just keep going and going and going. And this is why you need prayer. This is why the prayer time is a time for the wheels to stop and to give your thoughts over to the Most High. The Bible says to give your thoughts to the Lord and he will establish you. The Bible says that. But y'all got to stop in prayer and be honest and talk to the Father. Let him know what's going on. Like, Lord, look, this is my struggle. I don't know what to do. And give it to him. Let him work it out for you. Pick it up one day at a time. Okay, well, hey, today's today. I can't do nothing about today. We're going to try again tomorrow. But if you stay committed to what your goal is and you establish that goal in righteousness, every day, every decision that you're making should be directing you toward that goal and not away from it. I was praying the other day and I was praying about one thing and then something else kind of came in my head. And it was like I was looking around and it was like, why? Why do you keep looking around? Just keep going forward. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Just keep doing it. What are you looking around for? All of us. We have to stop looking around. We have to focus on what's in front of us. What resources do you have in front of you right now today that can improve your condition to help you keep focusing on your goals? Some of you have some talents that you're not using. Some of you have some items around your house that you bought when you had an idea and you didn't follow through on it. Some of you have some gifts. Some of you have some things laying around your house. I mean, look around you and see what's in front of you and what resources you're not using that you could be implementing to help you toward your goal. You trying to go back to school, there are scholarships out there. You just have to go searching for them. It takes a long time. It does. But one thing I can tell y'all personally about the Most High, when he sees you taking a step to righteousness, he will come and meet you where you are. He has never failed me in that area. Whenever I have really been intent on doing a thing, the answers come, the connections come, the people that I need to hook up with to do the thing, they come. Trust him to provide the things that you cannot see and work with the things that you can see. Let's not overthink the goal. Yes, this is the goal. Okay, fine. We know this is the end point. But when I hike with my daughter, we go up this really steep hill. And when I look up at the top of the hill, when I'm trying to see the top of the hill, the walk is harder. It's harder. And it seems like you never get there. You walk and then you'll stop and you'll look and it's like, dang, I don't feel like I'm any closer because you're looking ahead. But if you look down at what's in front of you, you'll see, oh, wow, no, I actually came pretty far. Like, oh, okay, we're moving along. It's all about perspective and what you're looking at. Stop trying to see the end from the beginning. That's not your job. That's the job of the Most High. He got that part. You can't do that. It's too much for you. If you think about it, it's too much for you to try to see the end from the beginning. And then when you go on your journey, you will find that there are factors that you didn't count for, variables that you could not have even known. It's not your job to figure it out. It's your job to walk along in faith, putting your confidence in the Most High. Okay? All right, so like I said, this talk that I gave here was totally different than the talk that I gave during Bible study. And then the sisters had some really good questions. We were able to have a pretty good discussion about this topic. Okay. So this one was paused. The next one we'll talk about healing. All right. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Shalom.
Tune in to Why BOAZ Don't Want Your Ass. Live on YouTube at Monologue My God. Why BOAZ Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss it, sisters and cousins.
Let 'em save you in the